Welcome back to another episode of Adoptions from the Heart TV. I'm your host, Amanda Aliberti. Today we're going to be sitting down with an adopting family that has adopted twice through our agency. They're going to talk a little bit about their interstate experience going through our program and what that was like. Take it away.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about interstate adoptions. So to start, I just want to explain that an interstate adoption happens anytime that a baby is born in a different state from where the family resides. Basically, there has to be a lot of paperwork exchanged between the states to ensure that it's a legal adoption before the family can bring the baby into their home state. The interstate regulations are a little funny, so sometimes they'll let you travel to other states, but not to your home state. So today we're going to talk to Brenda and Kevin, who also have their son Simon here, about their 3 different interstate experiences, just to give us a sense of what the interstate process is like. So if you'd like to share a little bit about your experiences and who you are, that would be awesome.
Great. Yes, well, as Ashley mentioned, we went through the process three times, on all 3 occasions. And the first time, we were fortunate because in all 3 occasions where the child was born, it was relatively close to our house, within an hour or so. So that made the process a little bit easier. But in all 3 situations, we did have to leave our house and go to be in the state where the baby was born.
And why did you have 3 experiences, but you only have 2 kids?
Right. So our first placement was successful, but the second one was a disruption.
And what does that mean?
That means that after the baby was in our arms and in our custody, the placement plan was dissolved, and someone in the family chose to raise the child.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So that first experience, you got the call, how soon did you have to go, how prepared were you?
Yeah, and on all 3 occasions they were emergency placements, so we got the call and the very next day. All 3 times we were leaving for the hospital the very next day. The first time we were very unprepared. We had nothing that we needed to raise a child, so we had to go out that evening and buy everything from bibs to baby formula to outfits to diapers, everything.
A car seat and a car.
And a car.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So that part was challenging. However, the interstate adoption process, the placement process, was a little bit easier because we were able to stay with Brenda's family while we were waiting for all the paperwork to be signed. So we spent the first night in a motel, which was challenging. It was our first child, and we're also in the motel. But the very next day, we were able to go and be with Brenda's family, which made the process, it was a lot more comfortable.
Sure. And about how long was it from the time that you took the baby home from the hospital until you were able to go back to your
10 or 11 days?
The first time was a 12-day wait.
Okay.
I just remember because it's in the baby book.
Okay.
And so then tell us about those second and third experiences. What were the challenges since you already had a child at home?
Yeah, those were more challenging because we already had a child. So essentially we had to have a plan. After having gone through a last-minute placement the first time, we were, I think, more prepared for that part of the process. But the most challenging part was we had to break up the family, essentially for 11 or 12 days. In both times, Brenda had stayed with the baby.
Right.
We had set up a plan beforehand where a good friend of ours had offered her place as a location for us to stay. So that helped immensely. We knew that was our plan, that we were going to have a place to stay. But, to keep life, from being too disruptive for our older son, who was about 4 years old at the time, we had to split up our family, and I stayed at home primarily with our son, knowing that, Brenda was a few miles away with the newborn.
Yeah. We wanted our older son to still be able to go to preschool every day and follow his routine and not have a disruption to his regular schedule, just in case and also keep him unaware of the situation until it was more secure. Because of the experience we had with a disruption, we knew it was better to protect our older son from the possibility of, disappointment. Yeah.
So it was stressful. And it was very challenging. It was tough because you're trying to keep our older son, keep him happy and in his routine at the same time, try and take care of infants and all the challenges that go along with just having a newborn child in the first place, which are many.
Yeah.
But then to not have your family together, it was difficult.
So what tips would you share with prospective adoptive parents who are ready to go into the profile books and have this strong possibility of an interstate adoption?
For sure, I would begin networking right away. See which of your friends or family members live out of state that would be willing or able to host you, just to make you more comfortable and be prepared. And then the other way to prepare yourself is to also make sure you've gathered all of your materials. And planned for suddenly taking, infant care on the road. You got to get those bags packed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the bags that you had packed?
Yeah, sure. So our first placement was an emergency placement that really caught us off guard, especially as first-time parents not really knowing what we were doing. We didn't own anything. So the second time around, we decided to be much more prepared. And I washed all of the baby clothes, put them in suitcases, had the bottles washed and, sealed up, and I had the formula packed, I had everything in bags with labels on the bags in the closet, ready to go at a moment's notice.
And it turns out we needed them because
so that
we
was
got the call, and that helps a lot, knowing that we had everything, ready to go. Stuff was stowed away in the closet, but that was huge. Yeah.
It's one less thing to worry about.
Yeah, so there's already enough going on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. We really appreciate it.
Sure.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Brenda and Kevin, for talking about your experience dealing with Interstate. Thanks so much, and tune in next week.